Right now, somewhere out there, one person is running what looks like a 15-person company. No employees, no salaries, no office, just one human and 7 free tools that most people have never even opened. And the company looks, from the outside, completely normal. I am going to hand you all 7. Each one replaces a real, expensive role, the kind you would normally pay a whole team $5,000 a month to cover. And they climb, from the one that just saves you a boring afternoon, all the way up to the 7th, which quietly does the single job everybody swears still needs an actual living human being. I will get to that one. But if I show it to you first, you will not believe me, so you have to watch the 6 underneath it climb there. Here is the trap almost everyone falls into. The second you want something built, a logo, a landing page, a video, a cold email, your brain does one thing automatically. It says, hire someone, find a freelancer, post the job, wait 3 days, argue over the invoice, wait again. That reflex made sense 5 years ago. Today it is like walking to another city on foot because you forgot cars were invented. So let me walk you up the ladder, one hired role at a time, and knock each one clean off the payroll. Role 1, the designer. This is the easy one, so do not get comfortable, because the drop-off in cost only gets steeper from here. You describe the thing you want in plain everyday words. A clean minimalist logo, a bold thumbnail with my product in the middle, a mock-up of my app on a phone, and an image tool hands you 10 finished versions in the time it takes to type the sentence. No back and forth, no can you make the blue slightly more blue, dragging across 2 days. No waiting for a portfolio, no deposit, no missed deadline. The designer role, the first one on your old invoice, just evaporated in about 90 seconds. But a picture is only a picture. The person you actually pay the most is the one who makes strangers care enough to stop scrolling, and that is exactly who is next. Role 2, the copywriter. Now, almost everyone uses this one badly, and I need you to remember exactly how, because it comes back at the very end, and it is the whole secret. Here is the mistake. People sit down and try to write a clean, clever, perfect prompt first. Wrong move, you do the opposite. You take everything, the messy voice notes, the half-finished idea, the boring facts sheet about your product, the tangled pile you were embarrassed to show anyone, and you dump the entire thing in and say, turn this into copy that sells. And it writes your headline, your emails, your full sales page, out of the mess. Hold on to that word, mess. It is the real skill hiding in this whole video, and I will prove it to you later. Role 3, the video editor. This is where people quietly used to burn $1,000 a month and never talk about it. You feed a tool one long raw recording, or honestly just a script, and it cuts the clips, adds the captions, syncs them to the words, trims out every dead pause, and hands you something ready to post. The job that took a trained editor a full working day now finishes in about the length of a coffee break. But notice something. Everything up to here is still you, sitting there, pressing the buttons. Watch what happens the moment the tools start pressing them for you. Role 4, the voice. You can now type a script and get a clean, warm, human-sounding narrator read it back in any tone you choose. Calm, excited, serious, urgent, no microphone, no soundproof booth, no paying a voice actor by the word and waiting for the retake. And here is the quiet part one wants you to actually feel. A voice exactly like this one could be reading these precise words to you right now, and you would have no way on earth to tell the difference. Sit with that for 1 second. It matters a lot more when you reach role 7. Role 5. The analyst. This is the one people underestimate the hardest, every single time. You take the thing you have always secretly been scared of, the messy spreadsheet, the wall of numbers, the monthly report you have literally never once read, and you hand the whole ugly thing over and ask one question. What is actually going on here, and what should I do about it? And it reads all of it, finds the pattern buried in the middle, tells you exactly where your money has been quietly leaking out for months, and then writes your next move in plain English a child could follow. It will point at the one product line dragging you down. It will show you the day of the week you actually make your money. It will catch the silent refund that has been bleeding you since spring, the role you were sure needed an accountant, a finance degree, and a $200 an hour meeting. Gone, in the time it took to upload one file. But it is still only answering you. The distance between a tool that answers you and a tool that acts for you is the entire game, and we are about to step straight across it. Role 6, the support team. This is where the tools finally stop waiting on you. You can now stand up an AI that answers your customers, day and night, in your exact tone, knowing your product inside out, handling the same 40 repeated questions you used to type by hand at midnight with tired eyes. It never sleeps, it never calls in sick, it never asks for a raise. And notice what just quietly happened. For the very first time, real work is getting done while you are not even in the room. Which brings us finally to the one I promised you at the very start, Role 7. The one that stops feeling like a tool and starts feeling like an actual hire. Everything up to here still needed you to be the brain. You picked the task, you gave the order, you connected the dots between the 6 tools. This last one takes the brain job too. You describe a goal, not a task, a goal. Something like, find me 20 realistic potential customers, write each one a personal message that does not sound like a robot, and put it all in a document I can approve in the morning. And it just goes. It plans the steps on its own. It searches. It writes. It picks and uses the other tools by itself, the way a manager would hand pieces to a team, except the team is the 6 tools you just met. It checks its own work. It comes back a while later with the finished stack of work, sitting there, done, waiting for your yes. The role you were absolutely 100% certain still needed a real, thinking human, the operator, the person who runs the whole thing. It just ran it, quietly, in the time it took you to read this one sentence. That is the line almost nobody has crossed yet. Not AI that answers your questions. AI that takes a goal and hands you back the finished result, start to end, while you were doing something else. Now, remember role 2, the messy copywriter dump I told you to hold on to? Here is why it was the real clue this entire time. The people quietly running these one-person empires are not the ones with the cleverest, most polished prompts. They are the ones who stopped hiding their mess and started handing over absolutely everything. The goal, the files, the context, the ugly half-formed, embarrassing idea. And then they let the tools do the heavy part. The skill was never fancy wording, it was refusing on principle to keep the machine at arm's length. So here is the uncomfortable math nobody wants to say out loud. If one single person can now replace a designer, a copywriter, a video editor, a narrator, an analyst, a support team, and an operator, all of it for roughly the price of 2 coffees a month, then the distance between that person and the one still emailing freelancers and refreshing their inbox for 3 days is not a small edge, it is a canyon. And it is ripping open right now, quietly, today, while most people still think of AI as a chatbot that writes bad birthday poems. You do not need all 7 of these tonight, you need one. Take the single most annoying, most expensive job sitting on your plate this week. The design, the writing, the numbers you have been avoiding, and instead of hiring it out, hand the entire mess to the one tool that owns that role, and just watch what comes back. That one swap is the whole beginning. Everything else follows from it. I dropped the exact 7 tools, and which free one covers each role, in the description, and every single one of them has a real free tier, so it costs you nothing to fire your first hire tonight. If this quietly rearranged how you see that little text box, subscribe, because the next video shows you how to chain all 7 of these together so they run the entire operation without you touching a single button. And trust me, once you watch the first automation build itself in front of you, you will never do that job by hand again.